If you can crack this, you could have 1,000 subscribers by next week. It's all down to a few key things that you absolutely need to know. The first YouTube video that I ever created did about 100,000 views and actually got me over 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane and amazing. But unfortunately, it's not all completely down to your control. There's still a huge element of luck, but there are a few things that we can do to give ourselves the best chance, because if you don't do these things, it almost definitely won't happen. Okay, we're gonna split this video into two parts. The first part is getting views, and the second part is turning those new viewers into subscribers. And if there's only one thing that you take from this entire video, it's the first point that I'm gonna make about how you should turn viewers into subscribers. If that's all you get out of this entire video, you'll be ahead of 99% of other creators that are just starting out. So if you don't have the patience to sit through this for your own sake, just listen to that part. If you want to get the full picture, then here we go. First off, let's talk about getting views, because the hard reality is, without any views, you can't get any subscribers. You have to start with views before you can convert any of them into subscribers in the first place. So all we've really got here for the start is a title and a thumbnail. That's the only way we can really draw in those new viewers. And without a good title and thumbnail that works, it literally doesn't matter what's in your video, because no one is going to click on it to even find out. So let's start with that. If you have a great idea, an idea that you feel will make an awesome and valuable video, that's amazing, because that's a very hard part. But now we need to package that video in the correct way. Beyond just the title and thumbnail, our approach and the way that we deliver that idea really matters. Let's take this video for example. Instead of calling it something like how to get more subscribers, I called it something like get your first 1,000 subscribers in less than a week. It creates more curiosity, it creates more intrigue as to what that secret method might be. And that is kind of how I approach the idea for a video. So you really need to figure out that approach before you move any further. Create a feeling within any potential viewer that sees that title that if they don't click on this thing, they're gonna kind of miss out on some really valuable information that they'll never get the chance to see again. If you feel like your title is doing that as its job, you are on the right path. There's no secret formula to a good title, but creating that feeling is, in my opinion, the best way that we can get close to it. Once you do have that title, the next important thing is that we use keywords that people are actually looking for. Because even if our approach and our idea and concept is captivating, there's certain keywords that people search for more than others. So you can use a simple keyword search tool and find out what the words within your title are that are more highly searched by people. You can swap out certain words and try and use those words within your title and your description to make sure that the people that are looking for whatever your concept of video is are steered in the right direction to find it. Once you have that initial approach, the title and the thumbnail, here's where it goes a little deeper. Figuring out these keywords is absolutely vital, because not only in our title, but in the initial intro of our video, we actually want to repeat these keywords so that YouTube knows that we're talking about this thing. And we're going to cover that more specifically a little bit later in this video. The reason this is important is because once you think you have the correct approach and a title and thumbnail that is captivating and that is going to make people click on it, we actually need to go a little deeper. A critical step in any video creation process is, once you've convinced someone to click on that video, is to reassure them that they're getting what you promised with that thumbnail and title in the beginning. And we're going to go into that a little bit more later on. Something I think has helped me get more views when starting out, more than anything else, is this. It's a way for you to take out a lot of the guesswork. No matter how much you plan and pick out these titles and thumbnails, to a large degree, it's still a guessing game. There's a way that we can increase our guessing likelihood. It's still a guess, but at the end of the day, we can position ourselves in a way that takes some of that guessing out, or it's just a much more informed guess. And the way that we can do this is by finding videos that other creators have already proved work with that title and thumbnail combo. It's called an outlier video. It's a video on someone's channel that got significantly more views than the rest of their videos. It's a way for us to get a lot of clues about what it was that their title and thumbnail combo did so well with. It's already proven that something within their concept, thumbnail, and title works, and more people than usual watch that thing. We can use this to take away a lot of our guessing work. There's three main things that you need to know about outliers to make them the most effective that they can be. First, you can find outliers in channels that are parallel niches. You don't only have to find these videos within channels that are doing the exact same thing as you. As a matter of fact, I sometimes think that it's better if you find them in niches that are completely different from whatever your channel concept is about. Then you just adapt their proven outlier concept of concept, title, and thumbnail and adapt it to fit your own. Let's, off the top of my head, an example, $10 versus $1,000 hotel room. Maybe I find that, and for my channel, I could go $10 versus $1,000 camera lens. Or something like, I couldn't catch fish until I did this. I don't know why all my video references go to fishing, but anyway, I couldn't catch fish until I did this. Turn that into, I couldn't earn money until I did this. Or turn that into, I couldn't get nice photos until I did this. Whatever, you get the idea. But you can take that title and change it to work with your own. And then you do the same thing for that thumbnail. The second thing, it actually has very little to do with what's inside of the video. We want to focus on the packaging here. For the most part, whenever I do this, I don't actually even watch the video that is the outlier in question. I kind of use the book cover from that, but I write my entire own book for my video. I'll kind of just take that idea and fit it with a concept that I want to create and make a title and thumbnail that work with that concept. Something so cool about this outlier theory is that getting just one video that takes off will be more beneficial to your channel than creating like 20 that kind of just get the normal amount of views of an average video on your channel. But at the same time, you need to remember that you do need to cater to the people that are already a part of your channel. And if every video that you create is just an attempt at getting this outlier video that performs better, and your channel just becomes a mess of weird different concepts and structures for videos, the people that you already have managed to convince to be a part of your channel will most likely get a bit annoyed and maybe even worst case scenario start to leave. So don't only build your entire channel around this goal of achieving outliers. Make sure that the content that you're producing still makes sense for what you actually want to make as a creator and your channel as a whole. The third thing, and this is going to go into our next tip, this is about hooking the viewer. So let's get into the details here. And yeah, for those of you that didn't see the previous video, I'm currently traveling around in this really cool van that I built around Europe, shooting cool videos, working out of the van, and just, yeah, it's, I've only just started, but it's absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna incorporate it a little bit more into the up and coming videos. But let's get to that third point, the very important point of creating outlier videos. And that is gonna be about our hook. Now, before I go into some crazy thing about how you can absolutely maximize the most seconds and the most minutes out of every single viewer and you can squeeze out of them to keep them watching your video, all I really wanna say is this. The main thing that you wanna do here in the very first section of your video is reassure the viewer that the promise that you made to them with that title and thumbnail is going to be delivered within this video. We all know how short people's attention spans are. If within the first few seconds they feel that the video is not worth their time, they're gone. So try and think of the first 10 to 30 seconds of your video as a way that you can let those viewers know, hey, I didn't trick you into clicking this video. Not only are you gonna get what I promised in that title and thumbnail, ideally, you're gonna get even more. Here's why. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, let's use our stupid fishing channel example here. Let's say we are creating this fishing channel. I just wrote down what I would make something as a little opening scene. So your opening script should be something like this. Recently, I managed to catch more fish than I ever have in my life. No matter how hard I tried, I could never catch any fish until I started doing this. And I was instantly able to get more fish than any of my friends. It worked so well that even when I showed my friends, they were also able to catch 10 times more fish than before. So we've done a couple of things with this little opening hook here. We've not only reassured the viewer that they're getting exactly what they clicked on with that title and thumbnail, we are also using something that I like to call a PSP method. It's a pain point, a solution, and proof to that solution. So we went, our pain point, we couldn't catch any fish. Our solution is I could catch fish once I did this, that I'm gonna tell you about coming. And our proof is that even once we showed our friends this solution, they were also able to catch more fish. Coming up with a super killer hook for your video and then going into the bulk of that video is pretty complex, and it's more about the scripting of your video. If you want a completely free little mini scripting course, as well as the completely free template that I use for all of my videos when I script them out, you can get that down below. If you are someone that you don't feel you have a way to prove that this concept works, maybe because you lack some form of authority or proven system that you've managed to accumulate yourself, we can lean on other people's credibility to kind of give proof to our own system. So for example, let's say there's this really cool creator called Gorks on YouTube. You could say how Gorks creates his videos. Then your initial intro as the proof part of that could be something like, I spent 100 hours watching every single Gorks video he's ever created, so I can tell you exactly how to do it. That way, it doesn't matter how small of a creator you are, because people aren't relying on your credibility for the system that you're about to propose. You are relying on someone else that has that form of authority. I guarantee if you made that video, it would get a lot of views. Next up, let's talk about turning these new viewers into subscribers. But before we get to that, I want to mention one important thing. It's not only about getting as many subscribers as you possibly can by convincing or kind of like tricking people. We actually want to find our core audience through all of these new views that we're generating. And it's actually fine that not everybody is going to subscribe. We don't want that. We only want the people that are actually going to be real core viewers of our channel to subscribe at the end of the day. We want the people that align with our channel, our personality, our style, and everything else that we're doing with our videos. So how do we actually do that? Well, it's harder than you think. I'm not going to give you some hack that will magically do it for you. I'm going to give you a bit of a mindset that will always make sure that you are on the right track to be positioning yourself to do this. Let me tell you the realest thing that I've learned in the last more than 10 years of creating videos on YouTube. If you can give people information that will affect or change the way that they do something in a real way in their day-to-day task that you are talking about, they will immediately have a massive commitment to you or the content that you are creating. Affecting someone in the way that they do things is the highest form of value that we can offer someone. They've literally changed how they do something because of the new information that you've provided to them. They'll keep coming back for more, hoping to learn something new that will make their efforts more effective or to achieve the same result with just less effort in general. So my biggest takeaway for this is that you should do everything you can to make your videos simple, your concepts easy to follow, and actually have actionable steps that people can apply in their own workflows. Let's talk about creating value. I'm sure you know that you need your content to have some form of value for it to be effective. Education is by far the easiest way to do this. And even if your content isn't really like tutorials, your content should have some form of educational video weaved into them. Of course, there's other ways to create value within your content, things like entertainment. If you think about someone like Mr. Beast, you're not learning anything from those videos, but they're wildly successful. But for people starting out, education is by far the easiest way that you can provide this value for them. So if you're just starting out, the brutal reality is that no one really cares what you're doing. What people care about is how they can gain something from the content that they're spending their valuable time on. For our fishing channel, if you're creating fishing vlogs, it's going to be very hard for you to get any traction. Or at least if you're just making vlogs of you simply going fishing without the viewer being able to learn from those vlogs, it's going to be harder than it needs to be for yourself. Rather, attach education with curiosity. So let's say you're going on that fishing trip. Instead of just vlogging whatever you're doing, attach one core topic around that trip and you can include that within that video. As a few examples, let's say you're going on a fishing vlog. Instead of just being like fishing vlog and doing whatever you want to do, you can still capture whatever you want when you go on that little trip, because I'm sure a lot of the time it's unplanned, but we could attach a core topic that provides value here. Something like the best fishing knots every fisherman should know. The one technique I use to find huge fish every time. Or without this gear, you will never catch big fish. So you can pick one of those core topics and then you go about doing your fishing vlog of just doing whatever you want, but you continuously have that thread to follow through within that video. And you can emphasize on those topics to explain to someone how maybe the best fishing knots every fisherman should know, how you can use those knots while you're on your fishing trip, and you can still show everything that you want, but you're including that core value topic within each video so that your video is actually about something. This is going to really help us with coming up with our titles and thumbnails and stuff anyway. So we should already be doing this. YouTube at its core is the second biggest search engine to Google, and people come here to learn things. So you need to position yourself where the audience is actually coming to. Here's an even deeper layer and something important. Being relatable while educational. Something that I've been noticing more and more lately, even within my own content, is that you need to have the importance of creating content that provides value, but strays away from the dynamic of teacher and student. A lot of educational content often feels like a dictator trying to just tell you what to do. And it's hard to not always do that. I find myself mostly taking on that role, but I do try and show the real aspects, not just the wins. So learning with your viewers becomes much more relatable and authentic. If you are trying to figure out something, including that is more beneficial than just kind of shouting at a viewer, telling them that you need to do it this very specific way. I actually have a whole video coming out on how educational content is changing, or at least how I think it's changing. So I won't go into too much detail with it here, but I would like you to just keep in mind, you don't have to be an expert in something to be telling people what to do. You can rather show them you doing the thing, even if it's you learning just like them, and it actually ends up being more relatable a lot of the time. Something even more relatable is making sure that you include all of those mistakes and the things where it doesn't go according to plan, because that's where people really learn with you, through those struggles and the things when they don't work out how you wanted them to. There's two more things I want to share with you. First is that you can see a large portion of this whole video creation thing is down to the script writing. And if you do want to get that free scripting mini course along with the template that I use to create all of my videos, you can still get that down below. It's completely free. And the second thing is that it's really important to focus on building a core audience rather than kind of riding trends to create shock value and kind of hack our way to gaining a certain milestone of subscribers. Subscribers on subscribers, they're not all just equal. Some of them are empty and they're actually going to be damaging to your channel when you have subscribers and they don't really click on any of your videos. So build a core audience that cares about what you're doing as a first priority before you try and just get a bigger subscriber number on your channel to kind of make it seem like it's doing better than it is. If you can stick to that and do what we've done in this video, I really believe that you can gain a massive amount of real core subscribers for your channel. Best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.